guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of some of the greatest sports teams in America. How you guys doing today on this glorious January 24th, 2024? This is the first show of the new year. Make sure you guys are liking the show, subscribe, and check me out. We are live on ZTV. You can reach it there. ZTV Cincinnati, ZTV Online. I'm also on YouTube at 2,460 subscribers, also on Rumble. You can catch the show on Facebook, Twitter. I haven't done Instagram yet. Instagram and I think TikTok are coming next. But anyway, what's up to everybody? How you guys doing? The season did not go the way we wanted to. Anyway, as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down here. It's the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And you know what? Got the banner down there. Got the sign up top. You can't see it right now. I usually wear the stuff. I'm wearing Bearcat stuff today. I got the big O on. Anyway, you know, we hit the jackpot when we drafted Joe Burrow. Like I said, I think we hit the jackpot when we drafted or signed Jake Browning. Even though the season didn't go the way we wanted, I think he played pretty good as a backup. Anyway, if you guys want any of the merchandise, please go to jackpotjoey9.com if you want any of the delicious award-winning beer from Break Brewery. It's at Break Brewery, and it's not as out as many places as it was, but if you're really looking for it, check out Break Brewery, and remember, portions of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. What is up to everybody in the chat with Brandon there? Kevin's in there. I thought Stranger was in there, but his comment went away. Anyway. All right, let's get into this. We got college basketball tonight. Saturday night, the Bearcats are playing their first Big 12 game versus BYU. Tonight, for all you hockey fans, which includes me, the Columbus Blue Jackets are on the ice versus the Philadelphia Flyers. And this Sunday, we have our last game in the jungle versus the Cleveland Clowns. Couple questions here for you. With the way the season went, now look, you guys know me. I'm as optimistic of a Bengals fan as there is. I thought for sure we were going to Super Bowl. I did not in any way think we were not going to make the playoffs ever. I didn't even cross my mind. This season has not gone the way we wanted. If we had a healthy Joe Burrow, I think it'd be a lot different. But do you guys think? Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? Is this just a bump in the road, or was last 2 years a flash in the pan? Did we get lucky? Also, Lance McAllister put this out on Twitter, and as far as the A.J. McCarron lovers, I'm not sure what the point of this would be, but would you want to see A.J. McCarron start or at least play in Sunday's game? I mean, you could to see what he's got, I guess, to see if you want to keep him as your third-string quarterback would be the only real reason to, I think. Jake Browning, I think it's proven that he is a quality backup, and he is our number one backup. And the other thing, like I said, if you want to trade Jake Browning in the offseason, which, again, Jake Browning is an exclusive rights free agent with the Cincinnati Bengals, so he cannot go anywhere. You could try to trade him to get some draft picks. But the way the season has went, the way Jake Browning had that stretch where he had historic numbers, played awesome, and then he kind of came back down to earth a little bit. I'm more of let's keep him for a backup. Couple things the offseason. Jonah Williams, do you resign him? I say yes right now. I mean, some people on Twitter come at me like, well, I would draft the right tackle. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not so sure on that because the Bengals have not bowed so well as drafting offensive linemen. Cordell Volson, I think, is done an okay, good job. I think he's getting better. Jack Scarman has been a complete bust. So I'm not so confident in the Bengals on drafting an offensive lineman. Now, I'm for keeping everybody, keeping Orlando Brown, keeping Jonah Williams, keeping the same offensive line we had because it'd be nice to have the same five guys in back-to-back years. Now, I'll put this out there. Offensive line, I think, performed okay. Did not perform as well as we had hoped. Man, we've replaced everybody from the Super Bowl line. Except for Jonah. He's playing in a different position now. So everybody's either in a different position or it's new people. Do you change your offensive line coach? I mean, where are you at on this? So How you feeling optimistically? Blue Jackets playing tonight. We got the Reds with their offseason moves, which Nick Cross said they're pretty much done, which is kind of disappointing to me because I was hoping they would get, try to get a number one starter. But I'm okay with the pitchers they have. We just got to rely that what you're relying on is Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, Graham Ashcraft, and Abbott. All four of those guys staying healthy and pitching. And that hasn't really happened the last couple of years. So that's where we're at. Couple times. What's up to everybody in the chat? Changer, you're in there. What's up? You're back. Mike Madden's in there. Kevin's in there. Paul's in there. Keith, Brad, T-Bone's in there. What is up? All right, guys. We'll get to keep the comments going. Let's get to my co-host for today. And he has a lot of thoughts on a lot of different things. Offensive line-wise, Reds-wise, Bearcats going to the first Big 12. I'm very curious to see what's going on in the mind of Farsing. Let's check it out. What's up, Joe?
You really don't want to delve too deeply into what's going on in my mind. There's not enough time. There aren't enough psychiatrists in the world to really explore the depths of that one right there.
right, exactly.
I'm doing good, Jeff. How you doing, brother?
Good, brother. I mean, now I'll put this after the game on New Year's Eve. It was weird. I was disappointed. I was sad, but I think I had already gotten through all my disappointment and upsetness when Joe Burrow got hurt because I thought the season was over, which turned out it was. And then Jake Browning comes in and plays awesome for 3 games. And then, like I said, kind of came back to earth last couple. And I'm still optimistic about the season because I still sit there and think, Joe, if Joe Burrow is healthy, even with all the other injuries we have, if that guy's healthy, we're in the playoffs. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm the same way. I kind of started writing the eulogy for the Bengals, against Baltimore when Burrow got injured initially. It was nice that Browning was able to kind of keep us engaged for the last 6-7 weeks. But yeah, I mean, even if they'd have made the playoffs, they weren't making a run. The defense is too shaky. The quarterback play has been hot and cold. So, yeah, they had a lot of adversity. This is historically one of the strongest schedules that has ever been accounted. Like they're going, all of these analysts are going through strength of schedule, and this is one of the 5. Bengals have played one of the 5 toughest schedules over the past 50 years. I'm not sure how far back they actually went.
And it's back-to-back years of one of the top toughest schedules too. Last year was tough too.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, football is a year-to-year thing, so too much is made out of, the Bengals are not going to get to face a last-place schedule next year. That doesn't really mean a whole lot because things change really quickly. The Bengals have been in last place and vaulted to the Super Bowl the next year. Browns, right. Browns were last place last year, and now they're 11-5, and if they had a legitimate quarterback, I think they'd be challenging the Ravens for the number 1 overall spot.
Yeah, that's true. Now let's get to this. Jonah Williams, I've said this. I'm for re-signing him. I'm for re-signing DJ Reader. And this sucks, but with DJ Reader being injured, I think there's a better chance of us being able to re-sign him because he's not going to get them. He's coming back for a torn quad, and we don't know if he's even be ready for the beginning of the year. I'm not sure what the time frame on that is. But with that being said, my bigger issue with the Bengals this year, despite all the injuries, the part that has not really been consistent whatsoever that we really relied on the last 2 years is our defense. To me, on the offseason, Joe, are you more concentrated on the defense or the offensive line? Because everybody keeps talking about offensive line. Offensive line wasn't bad. No, could it get better? Absolutely. I think we have the guys there that are talented enough to improve. Maybe you replace the offensive line coach. I don't know. But I'm more of trying to get pressure on the quarterback and stop the run this year. I know we had DJ Reader. We still didn't stop the run as good as we had been in the past. That's where I'm more thinking this offseason more of improving that defense. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that the Bengals are going to draft for offense, but they're going to any free agent moves. I think they're going to look for the defense. You just look in the division and you see why the teams that have a good defense are good. It's because they pressure the quarterback. Browns have several pass rushers. The Steelers always have good pass rushers. Ravens always have good pass rushers. That's why they're good. The Bengals have Trey Hendrickson and question marks. I like Miles Murphy. I think he's ascending. I think he performed pretty much as well as they expected that he would this year.
Right.
What the Bengals' problem has been, they overpay for average, slightly better than average players. BJ Hill is a solid player.
BJ Hill was better when Larry was here.
Well, yeah. He better in a rotation. He's a solid player. He's making a decent amount of money. Mm-hmm. Sam Hubbard is not a good pass rusher at all. He's a good run defender.
Yeah.
He's making a lot of money. Their offensive line is filled with average players that are making a ton of money. I am fine trying to keep Jonah Williams around just because there's been so much volatility year over year, and if you can keep him around and then maybe try to get a left guard to replace Cordell Volson, great. But I think to answer your question about the offensive line coach, I think they need a new offensive line coach. The schemes hasn't been working. He's also the run game coordinator. The run game is just flaming hot ass. So his evaluations on talent hasn't been good. His evaluation or his scheme hasn't been good, and the players that they brought in haven't ascended. They haven't progressed. So yeah, the team is terrible at drafting offensive linemen, and that's only partially the coach. But you still have to make do with the players that you get, and you need to and you need to figure out a way to make it work. And every year they're having to rip up their game plan because the offensive line just hasn't been good enough.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, because we've replaced everybody on the offensive line. I mean, you can say what you want about Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown was a Pro Bowler for 3 years in a row up until this year.
Yeah.
So, and that, to me, right there, that's kind of like, okay, why isn't he as good as he was at other stops? You know, and I like Frank Pollock as a guy, and I like his press conferences and stuff. But we need to see results, and we're having the same issue year after year. Our offensive line is, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the offensive line play has gotten better. It's still not elite, or it's average right now. And to me, it's like you've changed the players, everything. Maybe it's time to change the coach. I mean, I don't know who, if they have somebody on inside the building that they could promote, that might be a better job or what. I'm not up on offensive line coaches, but that's the move that I see possibly happening. I mean, Zach's not going anywhere. Brian Callahan and Lou, I don't think we're going to have to worry about them getting head coaching jobs this year, just because of the way the season went. They didn't get any last year, and we had a great season. So that's where I'm kind of. I think the offseason move for as far as coaching staff is to replace the offensive line coach. That's the only move to do, and sign Jonah. But if you don't sign Jonah, which some people are like, oh, well, he'd have to take a team-friendly deal. Like, not real. I mean, he could. It also that depends on if they sign T. Higgins. And I've come to the point where I think worst case they're going to tag him and he plays the season out next year and then he leaves. That's kind of where I'm at. And it's not anything with T. I think T likes it here and everything. I think it's his agent. There is also a possibility of tagging him and trading him, which I would be okay with too. I'd rather keep him. But that, to me, what they do with T. Higgins depends on what they do, or directly affects what they do or what they can offer Jonah Williams.
Yeah, I think the smart play is tagging and trading T. That way you're going to get more than the comp pick. They're getting 2 comp picks this year anyway. So trade T and one of the comp picks that they're getting and upgrade to to an early second round, late first round pick. They need players for the trenches, offense, defensive line, and getting guys in the middle rounds aren't working. Like they struck gold in the early 2010s with Carlos Dunlap and Gino. They've been outside of a couple years. 2021 they're drafted. 2020 they drafted great. 2021 they drafted pretty well. This year they drafted well, but past 10 years they've drafted terribly. So they need more swings at it. So. I don't know what they're going to do with T. He'll be tagged. He's not going to be a free agent after this year. No. They're not letting him hit the market.
No, they're worst case they're tagging him.
Yeah, I think that Duke really needs to step back from the "we're not here to make other teams better," because that's a terrible way to look at it. You're here to improve your team, even if it means trading something of value away. That's how trades work. You have to trade something of value to get something of value.
Well, I think that statement was thinking he could sign him. I don't think they could sign him. Is the thing.
Right.
That's the thing.
You look at the Bengals' history, and they don't make trades because they don't. They only want trades if they're going to end up in a lopsided win. I mean, look at the last handful of trades that they had outside of Carlos Dunlap, who was just a dump, and they picked up a couple linemen that.
B.J. Hill. I mean, that's
exactly. B.J. Hill for Billy Price. That was a.
That's the last trade I remember them making.
Last trade of any substance.
Right.
And the last one before that, before Dunlap, was Carson Palmer, who did the bloated corpse of Carson Palmer, who wasn't going to play here.
The only reason Mike Brown traded him because the Oakland Raiders were stupid and gave him I think we got a first round pick for him. I think, didn't we?
They got a first and a second. It was Dre Kirkpatrick and I want to say Gio Bernard, who the picks turned out to be.
I think you're right. I think that's who they get. But other than that, they weren't going to trade. Mike Brown's gonna be stubborn to let him just sit there and retire.
Yeah, and they were trying to trade AJ McCarron because the Browns were going to do Brown things and give him like a second round pick, which I still can't believe for the life of me. But
fax machine messed up.
If they figured out how to work a fax machine, and for their sake, I mean, for the Browns' sake, it worked out better that they fouled it up.
You're right. Well, I heard something on that the owner wanted to do that, but the GM at the time really didn't want to do it, so he kind of was dragging his feet on it, or that's kind of the story I've heard now.
It makes sense. I mean, you get owners that are meddlesome, and
well, that's how they got freaking Deshaun Watson because the owner wanted him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, honestly, if you look at the way oh crap, who's your quarterback now? Right, I can't think of his name.
Flacco.
But when Flacco was playing, they could have done that with Baker. I mean, Baker. I mean, with that Browns offense, they don't need a quarterback that is elite. They just need a quarterback who doesn't mess up. I mean, Baker took them to the playoffs. That's why I never understood. I mean, I don't care. It's the Browns. I care less what they do. I hope they fall on their face. But that was what I'm like. I don't understand why you wouldn't get out and got Deshaun Watson. But yeah, Baker Mayfield had a bad year that year, but he was hurt the whole freaking year, and he kept playing.
Part of it is Baker is limited with the ceiling. He was drafted 1-1, but he's not someone who's 1-1 talent. Like someone 1-1 talent is someone who is you can build your team around. Baker's someone you have to build around him to stand to stick him up, like Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
a healthy sitting out for almost 2 year Deshaun Watson was that player. I mean, Deshaun Watson, you look at his numbers when he was with Houston, and he was a fantastic player.
Yeah.
So you take away the crap that has happened, and you can't for me. Like that right there is nope. This guy's poison. I'm not.
Right.
No matter who he is, I don't want him.
Right.
But you look at the player who he was and who they thought they were acquiring. I get it. Like I understand. But obviously he's not that guy. Sitting out, it's funny sitting out 2 years and getting rusty. Usually he's used to someone being able to lubricate him, so the rust builds.
Right, exactly. Ready to get to some of the comments that you guys have willing to chat about. I appreciate it. Chris here can ask a question. Since the NFL became partners with all these betting and gambling companies, officiating has gotten worse. Have you guys seen some of these refs are worth because of their day jobs? They're millionaires. Yeah, a lot of them are lawyers and doctors, all that stuff. I mean, hey, I put this on Twitter. Ask Lions fans. They pulled a Joe Farsing here and put banners up, man. I mean, they're. I mean, I don't like. I didn't watch the game Saturday. I was watching a movie with my family. I was actually not watching sports for once and hanging out with them. But I saw where the lineman went up and talked to the ref. I'm like, it looked like he going, "Hey, I'm eligible." I don't. Can you elaborate more on that? Did you watch any of the game Saturday night?
I didn't, but I watched and kept abreast of what was actually going on with the with how they were playing it out. And the ref said that because they brought in 2 extra linemen,
right?
And he said that the other lineman reported and Decker did not. Again, you look at the replay and you see Decker walking up. You see 2 guys walking up. Decker looking directly at the official,
right,
raising his hand. Then the official walking away and then going on line.
Yeah,
the flag was thrown late, and it's one of those.
There's 30 after the play was done, right? I mean, they had the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, it's and I don't know. I I think what they'll have to do is announce, and the coach told him before the game, this is what we're going to try this, like, just so he had an idea, so it's not like he was caught off guard. They're going to have to announce it over chime in and say that is reporting, like, I thought they used to, but
they did.
And then they need to give the coach a time to, like, a chance to make, to verify, like, that's what, the player signed, the player puts his hand up and say, hey, I'm eligible. They need to go over to the coach and make sure, so that way, if there's a screw up, it's on the team. Like, they verified with the coach of what they're doing.
Right. I guess they used to do that, but I thought they would announce it.
But to go to his question, I don't know if officiating's gotten worse. I think there are more cameras and sharper cameras that now we see how awful it is.
Well, my thing is, I don't understand this, and why this is the most popular sport in the world, but they're like one of the only ones that don't have full-time officiating. And I've said this for years. Let these guys be their job. If they are making more money doing something else, cool. I mean, I would rather have a guy who this is his job. He relies on this job to feed his family, to make a living, not something he does as a side hustle or a hobby, or you take this, not that these guys don't take it seriously, but if you put the pressure on him going, hey, this is my job, I got to be good at this, go all off season, give them classes, give them stuff to help them get better at this. I don't know. That's always the go-to. Everybody says, we need full-time reps, but I mean, everybody else does. Why doesn't the NFL? I mean, I know they don't want to pay them, but it's
right. They're still paying them. Like, it's how much? I mean, there have to be a ton of refs. I mean, there are 16 games or 16 games going on at one time, so you need 16 crews. How many refs are on each crew? Like 8 to 10, if not more. But to pay 100, we'll say upwards of 200 officials full time plus benefits, that's a drop in the bucket for what the NFL makes.
Right, exactly.
So I mean, there's got to be a reason, but it's there is accountability, but it needs to be transparent, because the crew that screwed it up, they've been alerted that they're not going to be handling any playoffs, and you make a lot more money for playoffs. So there is accountability, but it's not transparent.
Yeah.
Because there's so, like, hell, the roughing the passer on Jake Browning, which was absolutely just stupid.
The intentional grounding. Joe Mixon was in the area, and Browning got hit.
He was falling down as he hit it, and he threw it towards me. Like,
I'm like, what?
Right.
Good.
If that was intentional grounding, then Mahomes should have had 20 intentional groundings, because he does the same thing. As he's falling down, he's able to get a throw off in the vicinity to avoid taking a sack. Like, that's kind of heady quarterback play.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if he was trying to complete it, but he was trying to throw it in the vicinity of the receiver, so to avoid taking the sack. And then they wait 30 seconds. I mean, it was it was probably 2 minutes, and then they got the conference and then dropped the flag.
And the bad thing was when the TV broadcast showed the replay, they zoomed in on the ball and you couldn't see Mixon. I'm like, Mixon is right over there. It's like he's right there. I mean,
they did. I mean, Romo even said, like, that's not intent. Like, he, after seeing the replay, he's like, no, that's a bad call. Like, that, the receivers over there.
I never agree with Romo ever. he's
just annoying. He's just annoying.
Oh, look at Patrick Mahomes is going to do. Like,
right. He gushes over. Yeah, he gushes over Mahomes, but he gushes over every quarterback. Like, he gushes over Burrow when Burrow's in there, and that's fine. But it's just obnoxious. Like, I don't think he has an agenda to hype up certain quarterbacks. It's just holy crap, dude. Maybe it's because you know how hard quarterback play is that you see this stuff that's exceptional. You want to point it out, but there are 21 other players at the give credit to the receiver, give credit to the line. Like, everything is like, oh my god, what a dude.
I don't know, Jim. We're gonna go.
Yeah, he tries to be too cute and funny now. He was better when he was just
dude? When he first started, I actually liked him. When he started, he would actually call the play of what they're going to do this.
Yeah,
and at halftime he was right. I'm like, that's pretty good. Now he's trying to be cute and funny, and I think, dude, just stop.
Yeah.
I do want to roll back to the Bengals Chiefs game, and I'm usually not critical of Zach Taylor, but I'm going to be here a little bit. The going forward 4th down, to me, that changed the whole momentum. We were up. That was the first drive. I think our first drive of the second half. We'd stopped the Chiefs. We got the ball back. Going down there, we're already up 17-7. You kick that field goal, you go up by 10 points, just a touchdown and a field goal. When you get stopped, when they got stopped, that completely flipped all the momentum because we had all the momentum going into that first half. Jake Brown was playing great. They couldn't stop it. He was running the ball. He was getting the passes out there. Mixon was running good. Chase Brown was running good. I mean, we were moving the ball. We were, everything was going right. As soon as he went for a fourth down, everything flipped. And I'm usually one for going for it a fourth down, but I legitimately was going to take the points. And then he did. And I'm like, all right, well, let's try to do something. And then we got blown up. That right there. Now, I'm not saying, look, we didn't score at all in the second half. We still could have lost. But that right there did not help. That momentum just totally switched to the Chiefs. And I'm a big momentum guy. I believe in that stuff, especially when you're on the road. Because that stadium was quiet. When we were winning, that stadium was quiet. And you just gave it right back to them and gave them all the momentum and gave them everything. So, I'm using that critical exact error, but I don't understand why you go for it then when you're in the lead and you've been scoring – and you've been stopping the Chiefs up to that point. There's no reason to go for it there.
I was fine with it.
Really?
Yeah, it was 17-13. The Chiefs kicked a field goal right before halftime. Yes, and so it would have only put them up 6. And Bengals hadn't stopped the Chiefs. First drive, Chiefs scored a touchdown. Second drive was the strip sack fumble, but next drive, they drove down and kicked a field goal. Next drive, they drove down and kicked a field goal. They finally stopped them on the first drive of the second half, and this is a terrible defense. I think that was Zach knowing how bad his defense is and knowing 3 points.
That's saying you got to take the points. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's being too conservative because 3 points didn't – it ended up – it not met. They lost by 8. They needed 7 points.
Yeah, but you get 3 more.
Right, I know. But,
that gets it close. I don't. Like I said, I'm not saying that's the reason we lost, but we lost from that point on. We lost all momentum. Anything we had.
But then the Chiefs had to drive. I mean, the Chiefs had the ball at the 8-yard line. That was a 92-yard long field that they had to drive as well. So I had no problem. It was the play call. It was the fact that you telegraphed the play call.
Yeah, it was right up the middle. I'm like,
I'm annoyed that Chase Brown had 3 carries on the day. His last carry was, and I got him. Where are my notes here? His last carry was a 13:31 in the second quarter. Mm-hmm. So he had 3 carries in the first 16 and a half minutes of the game, and that's it. And didn't get the ball the rest of the game. Mixon had 14 more carries at that point.
And we were doing better when Chase Brown was getting more of the carries and Joe Mixon was the finisher. That's what was working.
Having more of a mix, yeah. So I don't understand. Again, I'm not going to play armchair coach because I don't know. Obviously, they're different running backs. I think they trust. Obviously, they trust Mixon more that he's going to run the play where the play needs to go.
Right.
But at that point, and maybe it's because they tried it the week before. They tried the pass on 4th and short.
Right.
And they got ripped for it. I would have rather seen Browning boot out to the right. Play action boot to the right. They scored a touchdown doing it. I called it. Yeah. You can check my timestamps on my on X. I called that they need to boot it out. He booted out and ran it in.
Now that brings you to the last couple of drives where the Bengals are trying to get back in this. 2 things. One, Brown. The Chiefs knew we were going to throw the ball, so Brown needs to get rid of the ball faster. I don't think he was getting rid of the ball fast enough. And 2, not one time did I see them boot him out. I'm like, roll him out. Like, you get him outside the pocket, let him do something. Because the Chiefs know you're going to freaking throw it. And if he just keeps going straight back, they know where he is. If you can move him out, that changes the pocket. They never did that. I mean,
the problem is at that point, because the Chiefs know you're throwing it, there's no threat of the run game. The boot only works if you're on play action. Unless you're just sliding the entire pocket, and that's something different. But
do that then.
Right. But yeah, actually, like because they hadn't run the ball well, they kept running it. I mean, Mixon got a lot of carries.
Right. But that goes to your point.
Did nothing with it.
Right. But that goes to your point is why wasn't Chase Brown getting the ball? Like I don't know. That's why I don't get. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I love Zach Taylor, but I don't understand why he does that. Where he'll do like it seems like this year I've noticed more than anything. Like we find something that works, and then he goes back to the thing that we always do. It's like, but you found this that worked. Why are you going back? I don't want to.
Yeah.
That just I don't know. That's why I saw him do that. It seemed like he did that more this year. They did that in the past because I remember last year we changed the running game and scheme, and I don't remember. Maybe I'm misremembering stuff, but I don't remember us going back to the way it was before once Mixon got going last year. It seemed like this year we kept going back to what didn't work, and I don't know why.
They mixed in Pirine a lot more in every game. I mean, he was whoever I think Pirine missed a game because of injury. Regardless, they did a better job of mixing up running game. Bengals have run the ball, I think, the least amount in the NFL, and somehow Joe Mixon is still 5th in the league in attempts. Right. So that tells you right there he's running the ball too much. Also, not very effective. I think Josh Jacobs was the only running back who had as many carries and had as low yards per carry or less. To answer the question you put up there from Bo Brown, is Joe Mixon washed or is the O-line so bad?
Yeah, I was going to go to that. Go ahead.
I think it's Mixon, a good running back. I don't think he's washed.
I think he's good.
But wait, I wanted them to get rid of him going into this year and go with a fresh room. You need fresh legs. Even if you get someone who's a pile mover, get a young pile mover that doesn't have 1,500 carries under the belt.
That next question is Joe Mixon a Bengal next year?
I don't think so. I hope not. I hope not. I think this team needs a new identity. Obviously, Burrow, they're going to throw the ball a lot. Mixon's running style doesn't fit a spread offense, and he's had like 2021. He had a good running season, but he still wasn't great. He had a couple of games where he was like fantastic, same as last year, but he doesn't fit the style. They need someone who's more of a shifty, make guys miss.
We need a guy like Christian McCaffrey. I know we're not going to get Christian McCaffrey, but that style of running back where he can catch it out of the backfield. He's shifty. That's where I think that the Bengals need to get to, which I think Chase Brown is more like that, but I think you need another one.
Oh yeah, you need two running backs, and you need to utilize them. Even if Chase Brown was getting 50% of the carries, if Mixon gets let go, they still need another running back to carry 40-50% of the 40-50% of the carries.
Yeah, let's Bo here say he said he just reworked his contract and bring it back. That's where I think since he just reworked his contract last year, I think they're bringing him back. I
don't think so. I think they just tried to clear up more room just so they had it so that they could roll over for this year.
But they got to do something like before they cut him. Well, I mean, they could cut him and then get somebody. But I mean, to me, you're getting somebody in the draft. So
yeah.
All right. So all right. Let's we can do a little draft target. I guess. Where are you at right now, January 4th, 2024, as your first round pick? Are you doing I'm not saying running back because I don't think you take running back first round, but are you doing offensive line, defensive line, tight end? I know you don't. I already know that's for you for tight end. Which way are you going?
I think I actually look either wide receiver or offensive line. Those will be drafted mid first round.
Yeah,
I don't know what right receiver is going to be around. I haven't, and I haven't looked too far into much.
Either,
I know Marvin Harrison Jr. ain't going to be around. Rome Udenzi or from
Bowers, tight end for Georgia. He ain't going to be there.
He might be, but I don't
think so. I don't know.
It really depends, and this isn't a strong draft class. All more,
right? All more reason.
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows how draft class is going to be? I mean, all these guys come out and say this is a super strong draft class. You don't know. I mean, compared to how guys come in, maybe, but I mean, just because you don't like a guy or you like a certain class more, doesn't mean that that's going to pan out that way. So,
I don't know if I agree with this here. What Bo said. He said, if they take another wide receiver in their first round, this fan base will implode. I don't necessarily know that's true. I mean, if they sign Jonah and unless there's a defensive lineman out there that is a beast, that would be to me because it's the more important thing is the defensive line or offensive line. Those are two more important things. But it just depends how the draft goes and who's there, because we're going to pick, late or mid first round now. So the Bengals are really going to have to do their due diligence this year more than they ever had the last couple of years because of where they're drafting at. We're not going to be any high rounds at high picks at all.
Yeah. I'm never against picking an edge, just because, I mean, even though they pick Murphy, more edge the better. But I think looking for, and again, I'm looking at PFF's big board right now. I'm kind of looking in the mid-teens, and there are a bunch of tackles and edges that are in that area. I think Dallas Turner at Bama, I think he's coming out of the draft. He's a junior. He's got a lot of physical ability, but I don't know. I mean, the only spots where you're not going to look are quarterback, and quarterback and running back. I think are the only spots where you can and linebacker you can honestly say they should avoid.
Now we're talking about Murphy here, and one thing did not pan out the way I thought it would. Joseph Osai has had a very disappointing season. I expected him to have a breakout year. I thought we would be able to use him, Myles Murphy, Sam Hubbard, Trey Anderson as NASCAR package. Put all four of them out there on third down or whatever. I don't ever remember seeing all four of them out there, and they never. I mean, Myles Murphy got better as the season came around. He was never. He had, hopefully next year's better, but he hasn't been the big impact that I hoped he would be. I think he's coming around, but the biggest one for me is Joseph Osai. What the hell happened to him? Because that was where I'm like, oh my goodness, like we're going to be a third down. We're going to have NASCAR. We're going to have these edge guys coming up the outside and on the inside. We're going to go, and it never happened. I mean, Trey Henderson, he's had a great year. I mean, he's tied with T.J. Watt right now for the league lead in sacks of 17. If he gets one on Sunday or two, and he could be a chance to be the first Bengal ever to lead the league in sacks. So Trey's been doing his job, but it's what the hell happened to Joseph Osai? Where did he go?
He just absolutely just was terrible. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He started off as the one of the first edge guys off the bench, and he got passed up by Cam Sample, and he got passed up by Myles Murphy because he was awful.
Yeah, he was playing great at the end of last year.
He was playing well. He was showing like the ability, the reason why you drafted him.
Right.
Showed he was completely over his knee injury, and it just hasn't been there.
Right, and there's a lot of stuff that just didn't go the way we thought it would, and he's one of them. I mean, he just it wasn't sitting there like managing 8-ball, like, okay, we hope he's going to do it. Like, no, Joseph Osai showed progression of getting better and improving upon what he did last year. That you just thought it would, by natural selection or whatever, he would get even better, or at least be the same as he was at the end of last year. And he was basically nowhere to be found this year.
Yeah.
So that right there was a big key, I think, to the lack of pressure that we got on the quarterbacks. But like I said, we still got a guy who's has a chance to lead the entire league in sacks. So
yeah.
Now I was reading back to Trey Henderson. Is he one of or not the best free agent signing the Bengals have ever had?
Definitely ranks up there. In terms of actual production, I can't think of anyone who actually would match him for the full production. So
right,
someone like Reed or someone like Hilton, those or Von Bell, those were all some culture changing guys.
Right.
And they were productive, or were productive, depending on which one. But in terms of productivity, and especially he's been underpaid, or he's outperformed his contract every year. They redid his deal going into this year, and he still outperformed it.
Yeah, he took less money, or overall, or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one that were like, oh my goodness, you let Carl Lawson go and sign Trey Henderson.
I thought that was a step down.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like. I was kind of in the same boat. I was like, okay. I mean, I hope this guy's good. I mean, I don't know. Like, I had no clue. I mean, he has totally outperformed his contract. Now, the other thing this year that was disappointing and did not work out the way, which we knew what they weren't going to play at the level. It's not a safety. We knew Battle and Dax were not going to play at the level of Bates and Bell. And Mike Scott was a complete disaster. I'm sorry. Was not a good signing. Our secondary, and I've had some people I've listened to different podcasts saying, we got to do something about safety. We got to address the secondary. We got to do this. I'm like, I don't know about you. I know the safety situation did not go as good as we had hoped. But to me, there's still a first or a rookie and a second year, a second year guy, a third year guy next year who are very athletic and stuff. And I think they can improve. I think we can get. Mike Hill. Nick Scott. I would say Nick Scott. I think is gone. I don't think they're resigning. Yeah. I think they need to get somebody else in that room to improve your backups or whatever. But I'm okay with Battle and Dax going into next year. Are you looking to improve that as a starting position or just improve the room in general?
Improve the room in general. The only issue is not that he's got a lot of dead cash, but Nick Scott's on a 3-year deal. But yeah, he was awful per PFF. Awful. Yeah, PFF has 97 qualified safeties, and he is graded 97th out of 97. Sales graded 90 out of 97. He was a disappointment to me. I think I almost wonder with Dax's ability that maybe safety might not be his best spot. Mike Hilton has, I think, 1 more year left on his deal. Maybe transition him to the slot corner, which he's got better size. Yeah, he's got better size, and he still has the quickness. Obviously, you're going to miss something with Hilton because you're going to miss the veteran savvy and his ability to come off the edge in both run and pass rush situations. Right. Mm-hmm. But you're going to pick up a lot in coverage.
I kind of said that at the beginning of the year this year, that if Scott played well, that you might see Dax move into the slot a little bit more, and Scott never played good enough for that to happen. And my buddy Dale on Bengals Brews was just like, no, just leave him a safety, which that's what they did. But yeah, I can see that. But the thing is, like, you have to draft somebody or sign somebody to replace him. And let's be honest, they really missed. We knew we would miss Jesse Bates. We knew that. They didn't really miss Bell. And that was one that I still would love to know, because Bell left quick. It seemed like the first couple of days of free agency, he was gone. And that one shocked me. And I think it shocked the Bengals. They didn't think he would leave.
Yeah.
How do you replace? That's where I'm like, you have to get a veteran guy, I think, at least in that room. And like you said, possibly you could get a guy who could possibly start and move Dax to the slot. I don't know. But there are options there that I think they are going to address it. But I don't necessarily see them replacing Dax and replacing Battle right now. That's just where I think they're going to actually get into the room.
Battle is actually one of the better safeties in the entire league. He has the best run stopping. He was the best run stopping defender of any rookie, regardless of position this year.
I had a hell of a
Yeah, he's rated the 13th out of 97, so he was great. That was a great pick. We thought he was stepped. We'll see. Maybe it'll let him be more creative. With the other two guys, they weren't able to, because the other two guys were either flaming hot ass or flaming ass, depending on I don't know which one is different levels. But
this is hot ass or just ass. You got two different levels.
I mean, I'm not sure which one is worse. But yeah,
I think flaming hot ass might actually be worse. Ass
I think so. I think that's Nick Scott, and I think just flaming ass was Dax. So it's again, a lot of the reason that there was a step back was because of the familiarity and the comfortability between the safeties and the linebackers.
That right there, that's a good point. Because somebody's there saying Pratt didn't play as good, and I think Pratt and Logan Wilson didn't play as good because Bell and Bates worked there. I really do. The communication and stuff like that, I don't think it helped them at all. And they and it's who's saying in the comment here, say that Pratt area is T Brooks. It's basically Pratt was obsessed with ripping the ball out, which that's true, but that's where I'm like, I think last year Jesse Bates was such a sure tackler. He's in there making sure he's getting tackled. That's where Pratt can rip stuff out. He didn't have that this year. So ripping the ball didn't help then.
It's I don't know, the linebackers are known more for their big playability than anything else. I mean, Pratt made so many key interceptions in the playoffs. Logan Wilson has more interceptions than any other linebacker since he came into the league. But yeah, in coverage, they were bad. And a lot of it, I swear, without looking at every single play, it was almost like the handoff in coverage from the from the safety or from the linebackers handing off to the safeties, that's where all these deep completions were. They played played a fair amount of zone, and when they're passing off coverage, when the linebackers are getting to what they're used to, their depth being, there's a big drop off. They're not carrying them deep enough, or the safeties aren't picking them up quick enough. I don't know whose issue that is. It's safe, or it's a logical assumption to blame it on the safety room because they're the rookies, the second-year players, and the linebackers have been in the system for several years. But that's why, I mean, all of the big plays, they were all, I mean, outside of ones where Cheeto got burnt because Cheeto just had a bad year coming back from injury. There were just all these passes in the soft spot, 20 yards downfield in the zone over the middle of the field where there's the exchange from the linebackers to the safety.
This is a good point Strange brought up here, and I didn't take this into account. He said it took Bates and Bell a year or two to understand Ludini's system, get rid of Scott, and would be good. That is true, but I mean, this is Dax's second year in it, and Battle actually, I think, as far as coverage and all that stuff, it's the communication. I get that's the biggest thing is communication. So maybe another Battle having the second year in the system and Dax, like I said,
they gave them more. They were able to give Jesse Bates and Von Bell more responsibilities too because they were veterans.
Right.
Bates was here for 5 years. Von Bell had been, he was 6th, 7th year in the league.
Yeah,
these are guys that know. Yeah, these are guys that know everything and could be given extra responsibilities. Mm-hmm. Whereas these are guys that it has nothing to do with their ability; they're just not that level yet. That I think that's part of it too. So I would give Bell, or I would give Dax Hill and Battle. I'm definitely Battle because I mean he was fantastic. Oh, yeah. Give that two as a pairing another year.
Yes.
I'm with you. I would bring another guy in maybe mid-round if you can. Just again, you're going to need guys anyway, just for special teams anyway for that room. But bring in a guy with some speed or whatever ability.
Now here's another one, Mike. Man, I'm not sure where I fall on this. But he says, do you give Cheetah Bay with you another chance or let him walk? He's coming back from his ACL. See, I am. He like I said, he has come back from ACL. He wasn't as good as he has been. As long as the money's right, I say bring him back. What's your thoughts on Cheeto?
Only a year after the injury, so how much of a complete evaluation are you really getting from the guy? But he looked awful. He was slow. He had back injuries too, so that didn't help either. There are a lot of cornerbacks that are going to be out on the market. I don't know who is, if anyone's going to get tagged or anything.
Right.
But I think the Bengals have their starting cornerbacks next year. Juan Drago, Cam Taylor-Britt, and Mike Hilton are going to be their starting cornerbacks next year. So they don't need starting they're not going to have to pay someone starting quarterback money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't bring him back for starting money, which I don't know if he. I guess he could get that. I mean, because he didn't really have a good year. That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if Cheeto is going to get starter money from somebody. So that's
he's not. But it's a matter of how much is he going to get a chance to be a starter somewhere. Versus here, he's not going to be a starter.
He's not going to be a starter here, no. I mean, Cam Taylor-Britt, if he didn't get hurt this year, he would have made the Pro Bowl. I guarantee you that. Juice would have made it. I mean, he was playing at a high level before he got hurt. So, again, I'm not worried about our secondary. I do, like I said, I like depth. I like our starters. I think we're good. We have depth in another year in the system for all these guys. It's going to help. But we do have, like I said, we have to get somebody to replace Mike Hilton eventually, which I love Mike Hilton, but eventually they got to go. And the thing, I was listening to Chatterbox, and they were talking about, or was it Chatterbox? I don't remember. It might have been somebody else. Where they were saying, it's Mo Egger yesterday. That's who it was. He was talking about, I'm tired. I'll never say plug and play anymore. I don't want to hear plug and play. We got to have guys that can do this. I'm like, all right, the statement plug and play is meaning you can't sign everybody. The Bengals are going to have to be able to draft somebody throughout this whole Joe Burrow run that they are going to be able to plug and play. Yeah. That's the point of it. I mean, for Mo to sit there and say, well, that Bengals can't rely on that. It doesn't work. Bull crap. It does work. You just got to draft the right guys. That's good.
Isn't everybody crying because Miles Murphy wasn't a day one starter?
Which, I mean, that was the thing. I never thought he was going to be a day one starter.
Yeah.
I don't understand what everybody had this. I don't know if people thought he was going to be, the next great linebacker rusher or what. But I mean, I think he's going to be good. I always used him as a piece, not because as late rounds like that, they're harder to be plug and play starters. I mean, I know you can find them, but they're harder. And we didn't need him to be that guy. I didn't think. I wanted him in the NASCAR package where they all were together. So
yeah, there's two different questions. There are two different issues there. It's Bengals didn't draft Miles Murphy. Like, don't be mad at Miles Murphy that he wasn't immediately brought in to be a day one starter and good to go. That's not on him. You can complain the Bengals maybe should have looked for someone, but Miles Murphy would have been drafted by. I mean, he was projected to be picked in the middle of the round. It was surprising that he was available where he was.
Yeah, that's why they took him, because
right.
they weren't supposed to be there.
Exactly. Again, go look at my show's pre-draft coverage. I mocked him to the Bengals in our episode right before the draft. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's don't get upset at him. It was, maybe the Bengals should have looked to draft someone. Maybe they should have tried to get one of the tight ends. I'm not mad that they didn't.
They should have tried to get one of the tight ends. I'm not saying first round, but
they should have somebody, because that room was
somebody. It was huge. Everybody. I mean,
the fact that you had to bring a guy from the practice squad to get any production, and this isn't like a young kid that you brought in that was a late draft pick or an undrafted free agent. This was someone who is 28 years old, 29 years old, who's been around the league a while. Like, so you can't pretend that you thought Tanner Hudson was a guy that needed a little bit of seasoning. He's a guy that was brought in just to give them depth at that position. And the fact that everyone else was just so god-awful, terrible, is the only reason that he saw the light of day. And yeah, he's fine. Like, I have no problem with him. I'm fine with him coming in and being tight end one to start the year out, but you need to draft one. You need to draft someone who can take over that job, because you're not going to sign someone long-term that's turning 30.
Yeah.
Bengals definitely aren't going to sign someone long-term who's turning 30 that has zero track record outside of, a handful of good games. And he's played great. I mean, I have no problem with his ability and with what he's done. He's been awesome, but you can't plan on that guy. You can't expect that guy to be anything going forward.
All right. Let's get to Bo Brown here. He says, why draft guys that aren't considered stars the first year if your goal is to win the Super Bowl? All right. Who would he start over? I'm just curious. Who would he have started over?
No, I think he's saying that the Bengals should have drafted somebody that is more of a day one starter instead of taking someone who's not so much a project, but someone who would have to be worked into a role. And Bengals completely overestimated their defensive talent. That's all it comes to.
That's it. Because the plan was to have all four of these guys come in and be a package and have a rotation. Because if you look, when Zimmer was the coach, the defense coach, we had a rotation of pass rushers. We just kept funneling them in, and that's where I thought, and that's why I think the Bengals thought that was going to happen. Miles Murphy, Joseph Size, Sam Hubbard, Trey Henderson. These guys were going to come in. Cam Sample. These guys all come in and be pass rushers. So we always got somebody healthy and fresh.
Yeah,
that was the plan. That didn't work because two things. Joseph Size did not show up this year. Cam Sample is what he is. I love Cam. Miles Murphy came along, but he was slower to develop than I think any of us would have liked.
Yeah.
And like you said, the talent just wasn't there. I mean, really, you got Sam, who's really not a pass rusher. He's not. Sam Hubbard's not. He can, but he's not. He's more of a guy that stopped the run. And you got Trey Henderson. Other than that, on the outside, there really wasn't any other pass rushers that were consistent. Yeah.
And Miles Murphy is the second highest graded edge for pass rushing on the Bengals.
Yeah.
I mean, Trey Henderson,
so, he's not a bum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and his grade went up as the year went on. The more reps he got.
He got better.
He was fine. I mean, he had 13% win rate, which isn't bad.
No.
Especially for a rookie. He's got size. He's got incredible get off. Like, his first step is so fast, and his bend around the edge is ridiculous. I swear there's a play that he had, and I keep bringing this up, and I can't remember who they were playing. He made a move around the edge. I thought he got held the way that he contorted his body and bent over to get around the tackle to get down the quarterback. And no, it was clean. He just had that freakish athletic ability. He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But you need more than him him and Trey. You need guys coming in waves, because those guys are going to wear down. Ideally, Bengals get out to a lead because they've got a they've got a great quarterback, great wide receiver, and whatever else they're going to have. Again, I don't know how the team's going to be constituted next year, but they're still presumably going to be a very good offense. So ideally, you get ahead of a team, and then you just keep bringing pass rushers as the game goes on. And look what happened to Jake Browning the last 2 drives on Sunday. They knew he was passing the ball, and they just absolutely pinned their ears back and were just
went after him,
smoking the offensive line.
Which you can say what you want. Oh, you got to be able to protect better. Dude, when they know you're going to pass the ball, they are 100% sure it's you got to get rid of the ball fast, or you got to move in the pocket. Something that's they're NFL guys. They're paid to go get the quarterback. It's not. Oh, well, our offensive line stunk because Jake was under pressure. They knew he was going to pass the ball because they had to.
Look what the Bengals did to the Seahawks. I mean, Bengals don't have a good defensive line, and they absolutely were just racing past the Seahawks offensive line late in the game. No, it's when you know that other team has to pass. It's so much easier. You can run stunts, you can run twists, you can run blitzes, you can get to the quarterback because there's no threat of the run. So you don't have to worry about watching the quarterback's eyes looking down. Like he's looking downfield.
Exactly. So just to let everybody know, if you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube, whatever, or X, this is Sports Strawberry Ice. Do me a favor, hit those likes, hit those thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up, that helps. This is Joe Farsing.
Thumb. Sorry, wrong finger.
This is Joe Farsing. He's from the Riverfront. He also does the Bengals show. So make sure you check out the Riverfront, check out the Bengals show, and give them some subscribes too. So we got the Reds off season here, and we've been on here and talked about this before. I'm okay. And I kind of said this at the beginning monologue. I'm okay with what they've done. I'm not ecstatic about it. I would have liked to at least gotten a number 1 starter, to that hammer, because I want that guy. And hopefully Hunter Green can turn into that guy. He has all the stats, the ability, everything to do it. He's got to stay healthy, and he's got to get consistent. Lodolo, same thing. Not healthy. It hasn't been consistent. Those two can get that, which they're rookies, young players. It takes a little while. Where are you at right now as far as, here, January 4th, 2024, where are you at your confidence level of the Reds? Are they a playoff team? Can they go to the playoffs, win a series, or are they just going to miss the playoffs? Or what's your thoughts on it right now with the offseason moves they've done?
First up, you said the key word, and that's the issue is Hunter Green, hopefully. Right. And that's as my good friend Chad Dotson on the Riverfront Reds show says often, hope is not a strategy.
Yeah.
The Reds pitching staff is deep. Fangraphs actually has them ranked as the 5th best pitching staff in terms of I
tweeted that out today.
Yeah, in terms of expected WAR. That's because they're deep, though. They have 7 guys, 8 guys, even 9 guys if you want to go Connor Phillips and any of the other younger guys, Chase Petty, someone who might be possibly knocking on the doorstep.
Who's your guys who pitched last year for us too, which helps.
Yeah, they're going to lose in a They're going to lose in any series because it's going to be until Game 3 that you actually match up starting pitchers to where your starting pitcher is somewhere in the same vicinity quality-wise as the other starting pitcher. Hunter Green isn't a 1. He's not a 2 at this point. He's a number 3. Nick Lodolo might be a 3. Frankie Montas is a 3 with 2 upside. Andrew Abbott is a...
Wait, hold on. So you don't think Hunter Green has a chance of being a 1?
He does.
Okay,
I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying as of January 4th, 2024.
I got you.
He has performed to about a number 3. He's got number 1 upside, but he's not there yet. And I think he can. He has all the talent in the world, but he's not there.
Right.
Nick Lodolo needs to stay on the bump.
Yeah.
And that's the concern. I mean, he had injuries in minors. I mean, he was healthy through college and everything, but he has injuries in the minors and has been injured the 2 years up here. Ashcraft, I think, is a back-end starter, 4 or 5. Abbott is a 3 or 4. Williamson is a 4.
Are they not doing a 6-man rotation this year, you think?
No, I ran that by. So Carlos Guevara, he was a Reds minor leaguer.
Yeah.
Went to the Padres organization and pitched for them for a year. And he comes on our shows or on the Red Show every now and again, Late Night Reds with Tim and Ben. I asked him about that, and he said 6-man is going to just totally screw up pitchers' arms. You're going to have injuries. It's going to screw up their training regimen. And that's something that you'd have to have young pitchers come up through the system for, from the time they enter the organization. And you can't do that because guys are coming in from different organizations.
Right.
So, I think that would work to help keep everybody healthy, because they're pitching fewer innings, but you're also screwing with, their actual regimen and everything like that. So
I think our quote unquote 6 starters could be a swing man, either Frankie or Nick Martinez. One of those two. One of them I think is going to be the 5th starter. The other one's going to be the quote swing guy.
Montas is in the rotation. Montas is absolutely in the rotation.
Really? You think so? Okay.
He has the best resume of any pitcher that the Reds have.
Well, again, he's got to stay healthy though.
Yeah, exactly. He
pitched what 81 innings last year. I think it was.
No, 4 between AAA and the majors. He pitched 4 1/3.
4 1/3.
He pitched 1 or 2 outings in AAA, and then he made an outing. For the Yankees, because he had shoulder surgery in February, so it was just him coming back and proving that he was healthy.
I mean, it kind of like I know Tim says hope is not something you base it on, which I agree. And I always go back to my favorite Reds team all the time, and that's the 1990 World Series. That pitching staff was awesome, but that's also was the pitching staff that was built on hope because Jose Rio was an injury-prone, okay pitcher up until that year. Tom Brown pitched a perfect game. Dane Jackson was in the Cy Young, but again, he was injured and all that stuff. So there's a lot of similarities to what we're saying here. I'm not saying it was similar to what the 90 team is.
How about Jack Armstrong, who started the All-Star game in Chicago?
Dude, he had
All-American boy. He fell off, man. He absolutely fell off a cliff after the All-Star game.
His first half was Cy Young. His second half was not, and you never saw him again ever. I'm like, what the hell happened? But and the thing is, like, it's 162 games. So, yes, I agree with Tim says, but sometimes that's what you have. You have to have hope. You have to have things go your way. If it doesn't, because there's too many damn games. So,
well, there's a difference between having to rely on hope because that's all you have because your organization has let you down, versus you know what I mean?
Like, that's where they're at because the Reds are. Nick Cross said they're not going out in the end anymore. That's what I heard. So,
do you actually believe that? Like, do you believe he's done looking? I don't know.
I can't see that. I know he says it, but I'm like, really? I'm like, I can't see it just going with just this because
they're not. Yeah, they're not a very well put together team.
Yeah.
They're not going to go out and sign Blake Snell. They're not going to go out and sign.
We're not going to sign Cody Bellinger.
But
why not? Come on.
Right. First off, they need a right-hander, not a left-hander. Someone who's not going to strike out 250 times. They still are an ill-fitting team. They have Jaimar Candelaria and 85 other infielders. They need to get rid of an infielder. They need to. So I still think, again, front offices are going to say that. It's either trying to set expectations like, hey, guys, don't expect anything. We're still going to work on something. Or he's trying to improve his hand making deals like, hey, listen, I've already told my fans like not to expect anything, so you guys come to us for a trade offer. You guys better come strong, or otherwise, my fans aren't expecting anything. I don't need, I'm not owing them anything, so improve your position.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it is like you said, it's ill-fitted. We got, like I said, too many infielders, which
we need an outfielder.
We need an outfielder. Like I said, we got shortstops. Like we have somebody move out to the outfield, I think. But that's where you're stocked. But when they signed Jaimar Candelario, I'm like, all right, they're signed. India's gone. So they're trading somebody, and it hasn't happened. So that's where I'm like, you got too many infielders that it just yes, it can work. There you with a rotation or whatever. Somebody can have a day off every week, and that'll help. Staying healthy and yada yada yada. I get that. It can work. You can make this work with what they have. I would just be, I guess that's where I'm like, I'm okay with what they've done, but I'm a little surprised if this is it. I know Nick Cross said this is it, but I just with all the momentum and everything they built from last year, and like I said, like Joe, this is our window. Our window is now. That's where I'm kind of like, go take some of these. And some people come back to me on social media and stuff like, well, that's great. We did all this. We still have our young talent. awesome. We got all these guys that can't go anywhere because of everybody that's up here. We already have too many infielders, and we got more of them coming up. That's why I'm like, why are we not wanting to trade these guys to improve the team now? We got guys who could get us a number one star. I'm not saying give up what the White Sox wanted for Dylan Cease. That's too much. But you should be able to throw some kind of package to go get him or somebody like that, don't you think?
Yeah, there are, looking at the Reds per MLB.com, their top rankings for the Reds, 6 of their top 10 are infielders. Now, granted, that counts. Noelvi Marte is still listed because he still has rookie eligibility, but that means there are still 5 more infielders on their top 10. And the Reds have Reds have one of the best farm systems. So it's not as if these are guys that are bottom of the barrel. That's not even counting Rhys Hines.
They're going to be up here in the next 2 years. Probably.
Right. These are guys that are going to, within a year or so, these guys are going to be knocking on the door outside of maybe Cam Collier, and I think he's going to absolutely light it up next year. So you can't keep these guys. You can't. And I was listening to a podcast. It was Baseball America. They had their Reds preview where they go over the farm system, and there was talking about, are they going to? Or no, never mind. There was this was shoot. I'm watched a whole lot of Reds crap today. AJ Pierzynski on Foul Territory talking to Gordon Whitmire, whoever the really shitty Reds beat writer is for the Inquirer. Gordon, whatever. He's the Chicago guy, and
he's the one who replaced Nightingale, right?
Yeah. He's terrible, but regardless, they had Bobby Nightingale's fine, but
I wish he would have stayed. He
looked like he was 12, though. He really did look like he was 12.
He was on my show a couple of times. He's a good guy. Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
And they're talking about are the Reds overvaluing their own prospects, which I think is a problem too, because at some point you need to do something with them, or they're going to absolutely lose value. They're going to stagnate at AAA because you've got no space for them because they're blocked by all kinds of young kids, or you're holding on to them and you're not going to deal them because you think they're worth more than they are, and you can't do that. They're not disposable, but they're not worth their weight in gold. They're a commodity. You either use them out on the field or you use them to acquire something useful.
Right. That's where I'm shocked that has happened. I mean, and I'm not saying just get rid of them to get rid of them. I want to get something back for them. But you're right. I mean, if you keep having them there and they keep hitting this wall that they can't go anywhere, well, eventually people are like, all right, well, they're like you said, they're going to get devalued. So that's the tightrope that Nick Crowell's got to run right now. And I'm like, I'm not saying trade all of them, trade 2 of them. I mean, 2 of them could get us, I think, a fairly decent starting pitcher.
Yeah, exactly.
And people are always looking for that. Anyway. All right, man, we've been on for an hour and 8 minutes. I appreciate you coming on, Joe. It's been fun. Very disappointing Bengal season. It sucks. We got the Bearcats, like I said, Saturday night at BYU. Tim Daniel from the Riverfront is going to be on tomorrow. But the show's going to be at 4 o'clock tomorrow, just to let you guys know, because tomorrow's my anniversary. So me and the wife,
happy anniversary, and tell your wife I'm so sorry for her.
I know.
Having to be reminded.
I know. 27 years she put up with my ass. What's wrong with her?
Damn, that's a long time.
It is a long time. I'm old. Anyway, plug some stuff before I let you go, Joe.
Tonight we'll be dumping our Bengal Show episode. We're going to be kind of eulogizing the 2023 season. Again, youtube.com/RiverfrontCincy. We are the Bengals Show. There's the Riverfront Reds Show. There's Late Night Reds with Tim and Ben. And Tim also does Riverfront U, going over college sports. Also NBA Fridays, because they're NBA dorks and they still have to talk NBA, even though we don't have an NBA franchise. So,
would you want one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take all the franchises. I love sports. I mean, me too. The only reason I'm not a huge NBA fan is because we don't have an NBA team. I'm a college basketball fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge college. I mean, I was back in the '90s. I was a bigger NBA fan. I think I still always a bigger college basketball fan. But I was a bigger NBA fan than I am now. I like Jordan, Pippen, Isaiah, Bird, Magic, all of them. I mean, that's the era we grew up on. So I mean, those are our guys. Yeah, it's some of the fouls that they call now, and some of the NBA is kind of hard to watch for me. It's not this free flowing.
But the offense is good though. Did you ever watch like the late '90s with the Knicks and the Heat?
Yeah, their offense is terrible.
Awful. That was WWE.
That was awful.
Like the offense was terrible to watch. Like there was like 10 possessions a game, and they would just beat the shit out of each other for all 24 seconds. And it was just terrible, awful.
That's the reason they changed. That's the reason they changed the rules, because of those 2 teams. That's the reason they changed it. But I just don't like. I can't
between the 2 teams.
My thing is I love ball movement, and I can't stand the Golden State Warriors, but I do like the way they play. The only reason I can't stand Golden State Warriors because Draymond Green's a freaking idiot.
Go watch the Pacers. Pacers,
yeah,
they have an excellent. Their offense moves well.
Yes.
All five guys, even
I do like the Pacers.
Miles Turner in the post, he can hit threes. He can handle the ball. Like it's almost positionless. I mean, I like that. I think
that's the Bulls of the '90s. That's what I liked. And
that's what Wes Miller's trying to do at UC, but he's still struggling to find the right mix of players.
Right.
Is you have five guys who can move the ball. Five guys. I mean, obviously, not everyone's going to be 6'7". You're going to have guys that are 6'2", 7 foot, but like the positionless, anybody can handle the ball, anybody can shoot. You're not just dumping it. Yeah, you're not just dumping the ball into the post and having Danny Fortson bang with somebody into the post into submission. Although that guy was fun as hell to watch.
That was fun as hell to watch. just dumping on people, power over them.
Stronger. His guns were the size of these guys' heads.
It was so much fun. I remember a game against, I think it was East Carolina, or no, one East Carolina, the green team. What were they? They had a Guevara guy who blew kisses.
Oh my God, UNC Charlotte. I hated him.
I remember
blowing kisses.
Oh, dude, I remember one game they just pounded it to Danny Fortune, and he just backed him down. Boom, boom. But like it was a pure domination. It was fun to watch.
I remember Mel Levitt had a game where he was on fire and he was blowing kisses to Diego Guevara's wife. That was the thing. Diego Guevara would hit a three and he'd blow kisses to his wife.
Yeah.
Mel Levitt hit a couple threes and he's blowing kisses to his wife. Like, dude, you were getting shot in the parking lot, man.
God, I miss those days. That's what I want Bearcat basketball to get to. I'm hoping we'll get back to that tomorrow, which hopefully that's what we'll get into tomorrow. Is do some Bearcat basketball because it'll be the first game of the Big 12. We'll see. If you want to jump on, I'll send you a link if you're not busy. You me and Tim can roll 3 wide if you want to jump on. But yeah. Anyway, Joe, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, well, I'll see you tomorrow then, I guess, right?
Sounds good.
All right, brother. Who day?
Yeah, I'm gonna be good.
Later. All right, guys. Yeah, Danny didn't get any NIL money. Yeah, NIL money. Yeah, you're right. He did not. No, he didn't. Of course not. Danny didn't pay any players back then. No, nobody got paid. Anyway, thanks you guys for checking the show out. Like I said, I got the new studio. It's going to be obviously less Bengals because we are not going to be. This Sunday's the last game, so I'm going to be doing some NFL playoffs stuff. Try to get more Bearcat coverage and Reds as well roll into the season here. I did not get my new cameras yet for ZTV, so hopefully those will be coming in next week, and we have some different angles and stuff so you guys can check it out because I got that camera there. I know it's kind of hard to see me. I give it to zoom in, but I don't have all that set up, but I'll try to work on that. But thanks for everybody on Facebook for watching. Like I said, if you're watching on any of the things, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, any of that stuff, hit the thumbs up, hit the likes. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is at 2,460 subscribers. If you're watching on Rumble, please subscribe to that. Twitter X, hit the likes. Facebook, hit the likes. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitter X, TikTok, Threads, and yeah, that's all. Like I said, tonight, Blue Jackets playing at 7 o'clock. So if you guys want something local to watch, you can watch that or some college basketball game. I don't think there's too many good college basketball games on tonight. I was looking around and seeing any that really interested me. But like I said, Bearcats are playing. I think I said tomorrow night. I meant Saturday night. Saturday night they're playing against BYU. So check us out tomorrow. Again, this has been Sports Strawberry Ice. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. And ready? That's your sports, baby. See ya!